Hello everyone and welcome to the Bible Talk here at St Paul's Cathedral, home church for Anglicans in Melbourne and Geelong. My name's Heather Pataka, I'm the precentor here at the Cathedral, and with me as always is our Dean, Andreas. Hello Andreas.
Hello Heather.
Andreas is our Chief Props Officer and sometimes the Chief Prop, especially today because Archie, who is actually the person or the dog with that title, he's not here today. No. So, thank you for your correspondence this week. We've very much appreciated hearing from you. And in fact, through the correspondence, Andreas has expressed his disappointment to me on finding out that, in fact, everybody really wanted a bit more cowbell.
They did.
Yes. So today we're going to include an opportunity for him to really explore the space.
That's right, Bruce.
Yes.
Heather.
Thank you. We'll do that later in the talk. And today we're Bible talking 1 Thessalonians 5 verses 12 to 28. You can find that under the screen here that you're watching this Bible talk on for your convenience so that you can read it too. Welcome to Patakinson. This is the Advent edition of my talk show, and my guest today is a person who labours among Christians and has charge of them in the Lord. That's what the role is described as in 1 Thessalonians 5:12. We might say church minister sometimes, or deacon, or bishop, or vicar, but today we will in fact be speaking to a dean. Here's one I prepared earlier. Please welcome my first guest.
Lovely to be here.
Oh, lovely to have you here, Andreas.
We won't shake hands.
Oh no, we'll just do the special way of greeting one another, which obviously is normally bad manners to elbow people, but at the moment is the height of manners. Well, Andreas, welcome. Great to have you here.
Lovely to be here.
Yes. Well, I wonder, as someone who is a full-time paid minister of Jesus Christ, what's your favourite Bible verse? Do you have one?
I do. And it comes from John's Gospel, which won't surprise those who know me.
No.
And it's from the very first chapter. And it is the verse that says, "And the Word was made flesh and dwelt among us, and we beheld his glory, full of grace and truth." And I love it because it shows that God came to us in human form, that God wants to be with us, and that if we receive Jesus, he will in fact dwell with us, he will remain with us.
That's a fantastic answer, thanks. I'm sort of interested though, given that you are a minister of Jesus Christ, I'm interested that it's not 1 Thessalonians 5:12 to 13, which I'll read out now for you. We appeal to you, brothers and sisters, to respect those who labour among you and have charge of you in the Lord and admonish you. Esteem them very highly in love because of their work. Be at peace among yourselves. Now, to be honest, I've never heard anybody say that that was their favourite verse in the Bible, but it would make sense to me that maybe there are family members of ministers who would think that that was their favourite verse. What is it that you like best about being a minister in the Lord, Andreas? Is it, as the verse says, what you do, admonishing other people?
No, I don't tend to do very much of the admonishing kind of work, though sometimes I get to do that too. And that's a bit more tricky. But I really like telling people about the good news that Jesus came into the world, that he loves us, and that he's redeemed us. That means he set us free from sin. We don't have to pay the price for our own shortcomings if we turn to him and accept him, and that he wants other people to come into his service, into his friendship, which we call discipleship.
Oh, that's wonderful. That's wonderful. Well, the passage in 1 Thessalonians chapter 5, verse 14. Oh, sorry, this is getting too long to say this all the time. I'm just going to say 1 Thess 5:14, all right?
Oh, that's a good one.
The passage in 1 Thess 5:14 says that we're urged to admonish idlers, encourage the faint-hearted, help the weak, be patient with all of them. Do you do that?
Look, the patience side of things, I'm very impatient really on the whole.
Right.
So I have to work on the patience, but I do encouragement, and I do want to encourage people that even though there are difficulties in the life of discipleship, we're never promised that being a Christian is going to be an easy kind of life, that patience is really something, and that endurance is something that we can cultivate. So I do want to encourage others as well, and I do that in my work.
That's fantastic. I wonder, what do you think the part's like helping the weak means? What would that look like in your ministry?
It's quite practical, really. And here at the cathedral, we do a lot of work with people who come from overseas as refugees, whom we advocate for. That is, we stand up for them and we write to people in authority and say, look, the way in which these people are being treated, that's not right. We also have a lot of people who, come to us and they, for instance, don't know how to speak English very well. And so when we're not close due to COVID, we have a wonderful program where we welcome people and we teach them more about Australia, we teach them more about speaking English, and we give them a meal. So those are very practical ways. Other churches help homeless people by giving them some food. That's a really practical way of helping people who are in need.
That's definitely helping people who are in need or suffering weakness, yes. Well, the advice written in 1:15 to 22 sounds like advice given to all the people who are part of the church. So that includes not paying back others who doesn't do something bad to you, always rejoicing, praying all the time, being thankful, concentrating on what is good to do. Even if you're not the minister, do you have then work to do as a Christian, and what is it?
Yes, so being a Christian community is really teamwork. It's not something that I can do on my own because I'm not a community. So we work together. And I'm privileged that I've been set aside and been given money to do what I really enjoy doing most, which is being a minister. But each of us is called to be a minister, each of us has a calling, and one of our challenges throughout life is to work out what that calling is. So that calling could be somebody who is generous and supports us and one another through their generosity. That could be writing an email to say, good job, well done, more cowbell, or various other things. It could also be giving money towards good works to enable other people to be generous to others. It could be by leading people. It could be by leading a life of prayer. It could be by reading readings in church. There's a lot of things that each one of us can do to minister.
There's a lot of different work to be done. That's great. Well, how do you know then, if all of us have some work to do, whether you are someone who should be doing full-time ministry?
That's a really good question. Thank you, Heather.
I'm full of good questions.
And that's something where you might have that special extra nudge that God calls you to do something that won't let you go. I found that I wasn't fulfilled and I wasn't me without giving all of what I do in work to the work of the cathedral and of the church. So there is something where God will nudge you, where God will actually speak to you in the same way that Paul says in 1 Thess 5. He will continue to push you if you're idling about not following up on that vocation.
Well, that's really helpful. In Advent, we remind ourselves that we are preparing not just for the celebration of Jesus' birth, but also for his coming again. And lots of those things you've described there help us understand how to be ready. So thank you, Andreas. That's really good.
Pleasure.
It's lovely to have you as a guest on the show. I wonder if you'd all please join me in thanking our guest today.
Oh, I don't clap for myself.
No. Not only on American
Thank you.
TV shows.
Thank you.
Yeah, we're in Australia. Well, now a special treat for all of us. And you know I love to end my talk show with a musical number, but today, just as a reminder that just as John the Baptist was a herald, and we too have work to do of being heralds of Jesus' return, Andreas is going to really explore the space with some more cowbell. And I'm very excited because I've been invited to count him in and be part of the musical number. That's quite unusual, isn't it?
But before that, Bruce, Heather, I brought along a silver record that we won here at the cathedral.
That's
I think with your help, we could make it a gold record.
Well, we could go for a gold record today. I noticed here that this was in February 1972 with Colleen Hewitt.
That's right.
That's
well, I wasn't around then. I wasn't even born then. But
No.
but I'm sure it was a lovely record.
I'm sure it is.
But it won't be as good as our record.
No, that's right. So I'm just going to get you, Andres, if you'd like to get your drumstick and your cowbell there, I'd like to just give you a bit more space over here. Are you ready? Okay, so here we go. Here is Andreas Löwer really exploring the space with the cowbell.
2, 3, 4.
One, two, three.